A surprise playoff team, for me anyway, last year in the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles. Got the whole Jalen Hurts thing going, and that's where you're at right now. Nick Sirianni, I feel like it was a chore for them to make the postseason, or I guess a surprise for them to make the postseason last year. So how do you build on that? Well, you're going to have a great shot with 3 first-round draft picks.
It certainly helps. Look, I'm on record as saying I'm not a big fan of Jalen Hurts. I don't think he is that great, and I have not thought he was that great. But with this much draft capital and this great of an ability to put things around him, this gives him the best opportunity to succeed. I'm not going to lie. The first pick is a bit of a weird fit, but I keep hearing that Philadelphia just loves this kid. And I look at this is probably my favorite draft class of all even my Jets that I've just waxed poetic about.
He killed it.
This is probably my favorite draft class of all of them in this mock.
All right, 3 first-round draft picks. The first one comes at number 15 overall in the Philadelphia Eagles post-free agency 7-round mock draft by the Sportsocracy. Coming to you from the Ingalls studio. At number 15, Jordan Davis, defensive tackle out of Georgia.
I know they brought back Fletcher Cox. I know they have Javon Hargrave. I got that. From everything I have been told, they're absolutely enamored with Jordan Davis. And I get it. He's a freak of nature. He's a run stuffer. I think you could play him in tandem with Fletcher Cox to take some of the pressure off of him. I don't necessarily understand the fit, other than the fact you've got Fletcher Cox on a 1-year deal and this might be the end. And you want to temper your expectations for Jordan Davis. And when you have 3 first-round picks, you're able to do this.
Yeah,
this is a top 10 player in this draft that you're getting at 15.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was thinking was that, the 1-year deal from Fletcher Cox, now you don't have to feel pressure to bring him back next year. Just enjoy the year that you have with Jordan Davis. And, I mean, this guy's just an athletic freak.
He's a freak of nature, had a great combine.
And the pro day was almost better.
Yeah, he's good at things.
Uh-huh.
I think there is this sense that he can't rush the passer at all, which has gone completely to the dum-dum place.
It's not true.
It's not true. He's not an elite pass rusher, but he is an elite run stuffer.
Mm-hmm.
And this thought that teams are they'll just run no huddle. Yeah, I heard that about Vita Vea too. How's that worked out? Okay, I think it
worked out pretty well for my Bucks.
I think he'll be just fine.
Jordan Davis at number 15 overall, I feel like that's a steal.
He's space eater. You're going to have to watch his weight because he can balloon up there. But having the rotational pieces, this would be tremendous in helping that defense.
At number 16 overall.
Speaking of helping that defense.
Devin Lloyd, linebacker out of Utah.
This is an immediate day one, no doubt starter, and he can absolutely scream after quarterback.
I know this is going to be asked in the comments, so I'm going to ask it right off the jump here. Why Devin Lloyd and not Nakobe Dean?
Nakobe Dean's falling. Teams are not as in love with Nakobe Dean as the rest of us are. The height, weight, speed, there is and I'm just going to quote this as the way it was told to me. There is a substantial gap between Devin Lloyd and Nakobe Dean. So that pushed him down. And to me, I see them very similarly. I like both of the players. One of them just has an NFL body, and the other one's really short. Devin Lloyd, he ran a slow time at the combine, 4.66. I don't care. I've watched enough tape on him. He plays faster than that.
Mm-hmm.
How fast he runs the 40. Okay, let me ask you a question. How often do you ask linebackers to run 40-yard dashes on the field?
No.
Okay, the next time you see somebody do it, you let me know because it'll be the first time. All I care about is what speed do you play at, and he plays with violent aggression. He's a great pass rusher. He's good in coverage, moves very well laterally. I think he could be a 3-4 outside linebacker in this league. That's how unbelievably athletic he is. The one knock, sometimes he plays too aggressively and gets himself out of position, and he'll run himself right out of the play. If that's my biggest knock on you, I'll be just fine. He's one of my favorite players in this draft.
And he could be your signal caller in the middle of that defense and all.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then at number 19. Oh, why not? Let's add another one to the second level of the secondary. Number 19, Trent McDuffie, cornerback out of Washington.
Very good technique, very good cover guy. Not as necessarily great of a tackler as you would like him to be, but I say this a lot about corners. I could say that about a lot of guys. Phenomenal athlete. Ran a 4.4 at the combine, 5'11", $195. One of the best cover guys in this class. He came into college as a receiver, and it shows. He's got much better hands than the average corner. The thing that would scare me is I'm going to say the same thing I just said about Devin Lloyd. Sometimes he gets too aggressive, and that can lead to him getting burnt. There were some issues on double moves. I think that's just he was trying to make a play. He was poorly coached at Washington. There are a ton of draftable players out of that program in this draft class, and I think damn near every one of them is going to go lower than they should because of the bad tape that came out last year at Washington with Jimmy Lake.
At number 51 overall in the second round, but just sticking with the defensive theme here.
Oh, yeah, you're going to see a lot of that, just so you know.
Nick Bonito, edge rusher out of Oklahoma.
This is a dedicated pass rusher. This is the bringing back Derek Barnett. This is the rival to him because he can come in and start immediately as a pass rush exclusive. Can he develop into more than that in time? He's not right now. He's one of the best pass rushers in this class. Very athletic. I think you can move him around. Hell, I think you can stand him up. Mm-hmm. I think he could play some linebacker in this league. Just a question of, is he good enough in coverage? I haven't seen as much of that I could really prognosticate that, but he's very mobile, very agile. He's just a little thin. The knock on him is he is thin, and I think he comes in as a situational pass rusher. But that being said, you add those four players to your defense, and all of a sudden your defense that was a problem is no longer a problem.
Right. Those of you who are waiting around for a wide receiver, which seems to be the
bet you I can find one.
Seems to be the want for everybody with the projecting picks for the Philadelphia Eagles. I've seen a lot of mock drafts that have them taking a wide receiver in the first round, but patience here could pay off.
Yeah, I mean, let's ask Gary Busey what he thinks about that.
These tomatoes aren't even ripe.
There's 1 billion receivers in this draft. Calm the fuck down.
At number 83 overall, pick in the third round, wide receiver out of Purdue, David Bell.
But he ran a 4.65. I don't care. Watch him play. He was damn near the only threat at Purdue last year.
Mm-hmm.
Damn near the only thing they had. Didn't matter.
Yep.
Double coverage. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Not a good blocker.
And was still a star when he had somebody on the other side of him.
And I can't remember I can't remember who I said this about. But we did another video where we were talking about guys that we were talking about a receiver that was really good after the press. Like if you could just take away the first 3 steps, they were phenomenal past that, but they couldn't get off the line.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm blanking right now as to who it is. David Bell's the exact opposite. His off the line is elite, which mitigates some of the problems that he has in deep speed. I'm not going to lie. The speed caught me completely off guard because he plays faster than that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I never thought he had elite speed, but I thought he was faster than it. I still think he's faster.
Like low 4.4s is what you thought?
I would have thought somewhere around 4.5.
Okay.
Route tree's not. This is very much like Rondale Moore. So when Rondale Moore came in the league, the thing was you just got to get the ball to him because in space he is going to produce. I will say the same thing about David Bell.
Mm-hmm.
I think he can be a good, not great deep threat in the league, but he's going to be a good, solid number 2 receiver in this league, and I think for quite some time.
In the fourth round at pick 124 overall, Jelani Woods, tight end out of Virginia.
We got to recharge your Brave batteries.
There's another weapon for you. Jelani Woods has screamed up draft boards. Now, for me, he started lower. So, I've seen some people put him in the first 2 days. I can't quite do that. Started his career, transferred to at Oklahoma State, transferred to Virginia this year. Some production this year. A lot of the hype on him has been the height, weight, speed measurables. If you use the respected spark of the NFL, which for some reason I'm blanking on the name of it, would you like to hear the list of tight ends that were more athletic than Jelani Woods since 1987?
I'm guessing there's no answer to this.
Oh, would you like to hear it again?
Right.
Do you remember how much of a freak of nature Vernon Davis was?
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't more athletic than Jelani was. At 6'7", 260.
Wow.
Running a 4.6 40. Built like a brick shithouse. Good, soft hands. There's a lot of things to like. What makes me a little nervous is he is so tall that I'm not sure he's ever going to be even – he'll be a serviceable blocker. I don't know that he'll ever be good at it. And he's a little tight-hipped. I mean, we all knew that he was very athletic. You could see that in Virginia. But I never saw this elite level of athleticism because he's not a great route runner. He needs to learn how to do that. Doesn't release well. Needs to learn how to do that. So he's raw. The good thing is you have Dallas Goedert, and I think that's an ideal scenario of he can be on the field in 2 tight end sets. He's a weapon in the pass game, and he's serviceable enough as a blocker that it's not going to be a complete liability.
Coming to you from the Ingles studio, I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. This is the 7-round mock draft post-free agency for the Philadelphia Eagles into the 5th round, where the Eagles have 3 picks, the first coming at 154 overall, and that's going to be Sterling Weatherford, safety, Miami of Ohio.
He is a ridiculous athlete. Watching him on film. Now, he ran a 4.6 40, which is why he gets pushed down here. 6'4", 230 pounds at safety. He's good in the run game. Very athletic. He needs to get better. Needs to get stronger, for one, without getting bigger, that sounds like a weird thing to say. I need him to get leaner.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little, I don't want to say doughy because it's not doughy. It's not good weight on his frame.
Beefy.
I guess we could go with that.
Okay.
When people say there's good weight on the frame, there's bad weight on the frame, Weatherford is exactly what we're talking about.
Okay.
Because he's not as strong as you want him to be, but he's as big as you want him to be.
Ooh, this
so you
is
just
one
have to convert it.
I was going to say this is one that I heard as a kid a lot. Husky.
Nope.
Okay.
That's not the word I'm
Missed
looking
it. All right.
Missed it by that much.
Missed it by that
and he's
much.
just a scrappy kid. This is one of my favorite safeties in this draft. I think he forecasts as a special teams player to start and ultimately could pass Kayvon Wallace as the free safety. I think he's a better player than Kayvon Wallace. Just a little raw and could get burnt deep as a deep safety. But very rangy and a lot of raw tools that I really like.
Second pick for the Eagles in the 5th round comes at 162 overall. Jerome Ford, running back out of Cincinnati.
I know this completely, blows in the face of what Philadelphia does because they only want running backs that are 5'7". I totally get that. It would be nice to have a running back on your team that was a growed-up boy. And Jerome Ford is a growed-up boy. He's 6 foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
5'11", 6 foot, whatever, however you want to put that. 210 pounds. He's a thumper in between the tackles. This is a compliment to Gainwell. I know you invested draft capital in him last year. I get that. This is not serious high-end draft capital. This is a pick in the 5th round that is a player that will come in and play right away. 6 goal line carries a week. 6 inside the 20, 6 short down and distance carries a week, and this will make your offense better. This will take that onus off of Jalen Hurts to do these things. Because if you don't stop doing that, you're going to get him killed.
Also in the 5th round, the last one in the 5th round, 166 overall, Josh Johnson, wide receiver out of Tulsa.
Technically, he's a receiver. I think.
Technically. Okay. Is he a tight end?
No. He's a player, and he does stuff.
Well, that's good. That's good to have on your team.
He's 5'9". He's 210 pounds. He played running back. He played wide receiver. Ran Wildcat. He did all the things. I don't know that he does any of them at an NFL level yet, but he's an NFL player.
Right.
And I think there's enough in him because he's one of those squatty play. I'll tell you, it reminds me of Demetric Felton that plays for the Browns.
Yep.
I just want to get the ball in your hands. I just don't know how I'm going to do it. And I look at Philadelphia and go, that offense is run heavy enough when it's good that you can manufacture touches for this kid. I really considered when I made the graphic that came underneath my head, I considered putting football player instead of receiver, running back, or anything like that.
Right.
So he's just a gadget guy. The knock on him is that there are times he tries to do too much because he's just a little feller. And every play has to be a home run for him. He's going to take some time. He's a project, but he's that gadgety player that's becoming very vogue in the NFL right now.
Now, how do you take a class as stacked as this and just put the cherry right on top of it? All those who, in Eagles fandom that want a quarterback, here you go. In the 6th round, 194 overall, quarterback out of Brown, E.J. Perry.
He made an impression with his character at the Combine, and it made me revisit the tape on him because I liked what I heard. There was the story of he picked up all the trash around the bench and when the quarterbacks were on the field. Then I watched the tape on him again, and I went, that kid's draftable. He's a draftable player. He's athletic, 6'2", 215 pounds, ran a 4.65 40. He's an inconsistent downfield passer. He's got a good arm.
That sounds like somebody I know.
I was about to say. He's a more accurate version of Jalen Hurts that's not nearly as good a runner. And he would be a perfect backup.
Mm-hmm.
A perfect backup. Now, you might have to bring in a vet, and it would be a project for sure. But I just really like this kid the more I look at him. I've heard a lot of trade rumors with Gardner Minshew, which I'm not saying they're going to happen. I don't necessarily think he's the long-term backup. Those two quarterbacks do two very different things. E.J. Perry and Jalen Hurts don't. And I think this is just he's incredibly smart. I mean, for fuck's sake, he graduated from Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's a smart kid. And I think there's a value to having that in your building. And if there's any team in this league that I know values that, it's the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right, that's the Philadelphia Eagles 7-round post-free agency mock draft by one Flostradamus Jeremy Greene here in the Sportsocracy, coming to you from the Ingles studio.
If you like these picks, if you don't like these picks, if you think I'm a big mulleted ginger beard dipshit and you can do better, comment out your mock draft. Comment out your questions. Comment out the players you'd like to know how they fit with the Philadelphia Eagles. I go through every day and answer those. And we will have 2 more mock drafts, 2 weeks from now, with the perfect draft for each team of taking the value of the draft, what you need, and how, and prioritize it, and you'll see. I do this every year. This is the extra mock draft where I went post free agency because I usually do the next one. And, well, you know what? We're having so much damn fun, I just figured we'd do an extra one.
That's right.
And then there will be the one that comes out the week of the 2022 NFL Draft, April 28th in Las Vegas, Nevada.
You want to continue having fun with us here in the Sportsocracy? Hit that subscribe button. Get all of our team-by-team content throughout the Draftmas season and even after the Draftmas season as we go through all of the grades and all of that. And, of course, we're live in the Ingles studio. Low prices, love the savings. Every weekday afternoon at 3 o'clock.
Oh, Draftmas tree, oh, Draftmas tree.
I'm Tank Spitzer. He's the weird ginger.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time.